What's going on, all you mentees? Back by popular demand is my oldest princess, Miss
Lydia.
So Lydia, I am the Uncanny Omar, and welcome to Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. Today, we're going to be doing a review of Curse of the Chosen, Volumes 1 and 2. So,
stay tuned. Thank you to Nobrow Flying Eye Books for sending us copies of these books.
yes, thank you to those folks over there that reached out to us to do a review of this series. So what we have here are the first two books of the Curse of the Chosen series. Volume 1 is a matter of life and death and a game without rules, while Volume 2 is the will that shapes the world. Is that right? The will that shapes the world? Not wheel. This is all written and drawn by Alexis Deakin. So this right here, I would say, is young adult. It does have some fantasy, a little bit of fantasy violence, and maybe a little bit of dark themes. But who better to tell you about young adult books than Miss Lydia, who is how old?
I am 13.
You are 13. So give me the premise, give me the pitch of this book, and then we'll look at the artwork and come back and rate it.
Okay, so there's this, society, I don't know, not really a village, it's just sort of like this place people live in. Basically, their chief, Matarka, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I think I am. Anyway, she has just died, and they gather 50 people, and they're like, alright, we need to figure out who's going to be the new chief. And, they're all arguing, like, I have to be the chief, I have to be the chief, blah, blah, blah. And then, suddenly, a witch basically possesses Matarka's body, and is like, hey, guys.
The woman that just died?
Yeah, and then, her body gets possessed, pretty much, and they're like, hey, guys, you know what, I can help you. You have to go through these trials, basically. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated than that, and she's not that straightforward.
Okay. Who is the witch talking to?
She's talking to, basically everybody. There's 50 people trying to become the chief.
The chosen one, if you will?
Not really a chosen one, it's just chief.
Okay, chief.
I mean, I guess chosen one once it comes to, the witch, but in general, just chief.
Okay. So who would you say are the main characters? Who are the protagonists of these two stories?
There's a ton of characters that appear, but I'd say, the more main ones are Io, Nemes, pretty much Eloise and Arthur, and then Neope. I think, again, I'm pronouncing that right. And Neope is a witch.
Okay. So those are the main characters. Outside of the witch, tell me a little bit about those characters. What makes them the main characters of the stories? What is their goal? What is their role in this?
Basically, Io is trying to stop the witch. She is the Kite Lord's daughter. And again, she has no idea why she's even there, present with the other 50 people, since, there's no reason she should become chief. But, she's trying to stop the witch. Nemes is trying to become, the chosen one, basically.
Okay.
Arthur and Eloise are sort of main characters, but, Io and Nemes are the two main characters, really. And they're also trying to stop the witch.
Okay. So that's the pitch for this. It's the story of how these group of people are trying to choose the next chief, and the witch comes and takes over the dead chief's body. So a little dark elements, right?
Yeah, and because, during these trials, they have to kill each other, basically.
Would you say, so you would say that this is more geared towards a young adult than, a kid, like your sister?
Yeah, definitely, because, there's a bunch of, I think some of my favorite art is, once it comes to, her, the witch's little creatures, because they're all, just skeletons, bones, except they have, eyeballs.
Okay. So, speaking of eyeballs and bones, let's take a look inside of the artwork at some of your favorite scenes, without going into spoilers, of course, and we'll come back and rate the book. So what we're looking at here are the two covers of these books. These are both soft covers. This is what the spines look like together. Curse of the Chosen One, Volumes 1 and 2. And even though they're soft covers, I'm pretty sure you all noticed something right away. And that is that they have... What are these, Lydia?
Dust jackets.
Dust jackets. So you can take the dust jackets off, and they have flaps right there about the author, Alexis Deakin. So, let's look at some of the artwork here. Miss Lydia, take it away. Show us some of your favorite parts. So I love this design right here.
Yeah.
That is really cool. That's your end paper right there. For Thea, for Steve, who inspired this book, and Alexis Deacon, Volume 1, A Matter of Life and Death, and a Game Without Rules. So, Book 1. So, it looks like this is split up into a trilogy, right? Like, this contains Book 1 and 2, and the last book contains Book 3, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's talk about this artwork. First of all, holy moly, look at all these panels. It's rare to see that many panels in a comic book size. To kind of give you an idea of the size of the book, too, something we didn't do earlier, here it is compared to the size of a traditional trade paperback here in America. And these have the pages, or the page size, rather, of a comic book. So let's look back in here.
While there are a lot of like panels, I really enjoy it. So like, it's not like extremely complicated and you can't follow. I like the character designs and also like just in general like how he draws like the world around them.
Landscapes are beautiful. Yeah, I agree with you. The colors are nice. And calling it cartoony, I think I don't think it's correct. I think it definitely has a different feel and tone to it that says, hey, it's for kids, but also adults like the Uncanny Omar can enjoy this. Look at that. That is gorgeous.
As you can tell, there's no words up here except, for cussing, but,
What?
yeah, like, it's still easy to follow.
Yeah, the panel layouts are nice right there. So, this is what the internal artwork looks like. I think we're going to show just a little bit of Volume 2, because there is a big twist at the end of this one that we don't want to reveal to people that haven't read it. But this is definitely your, what would you say, your fantasy type of story for people that enjoy those type of stories.
This one also has a dust jacket, as you can tell.
Yeah, and this one has its own bookend designs here. The end paper, Volume 2. So we're looking just a little bit at this one here. I wanted to talk about the paper. This is a matte paper that they're using, so it's not glossy. But my gosh, look at that. That's awesome. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Mobius. I love Mobius's artwork, which I need to introduce you to. But that's what it reminds me of.
And you can see that there's violence and kind of a lot of violence, but it's not like blood, guts, gore everywhere. But it's just like, you can tell that somebody's getting stabbed or something.
It definitely doesn't focus on that stuff, and it's not over-the-top violence. But yes, this is what the paper stock looks like. It is glued binding. I just wanted, again, focus on what the art looks like and how the book lays over. All right, Lydia. Now that we've seen the art, and there are no extras, actually there's an afterwards here, like a question Q&A with Alexis. But don't read that until you read both books. Let's give it our final rating. Now that we've looked at the artwork and looked at some scenes without going into spoilers, is there enough room for another volume here, or is this going to be an epic fantasy? I feel like this is a trilogy, right? Like caught in the middle of another trilogy, like something from a galaxy far, far away, perhaps.
No,
Lord of the Rings.
I mean, I guess they could technically continue it. It's not like the world ended or something, but I'd say they should probably stop it like at that one because it has
a good stopping point.
Yeah, like an ending.
Okay. So for me, I really enjoyed how fast paced this was. You get lost in the story. The artwork is, I don't want to say cartoony because sometimes that turns people away from books. Because it definitely has a lot of detailed art in here from time to time. But it does have a cartoony sense to it, but like adult cartoony, kind of like those old, I mentioned Lord of the Rings earlier, but yeah, Lord of the Rings cartoons or Secret of Nim, the adultish cartoons that we watched, or, of course, The Black Cauldron. Cover to cover, it's beautiful, and you all saw what the dust jacket looks like. They're soft covers, each one retailing for $20.99. First book having 216 pages, the second book having 184 pages. Let's do it, Miss Lydia. Let's rate it. Out of 5, what would you give the first two books?
I'd say 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. That's some high praises from a young adult. For me, actually, I agree. 4 out of 5. It was really nice to get lost. It was really nice to do a review with you again, because I've missed doing these. I get so lost in doing reviews of all the other books that I forget. You know, what's important to me is passing on this graphic novel love to the next generation. And you and your sister are to the next generation, along with all the other kids that are out there reading. So, thank you again to Nobrow for reaching out to us, sending us copies of these books. Alexis is a great writer, artist, and hopefully we get to see more of their work. Anything else, Miss Lydia?
No.
No, we're done. That's it. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there.
Stay minty.
No, much love. And stay minty too.